because of our guest, Willy Porter.
Hey!
Look out,
The
kids.
freaking Willy.
Woo!
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, like, it could have been Steamboat Willie.
no,
It could have been
because
the
Willie's,
freaking Willie.
and it's called the freaking Willy because I requested a song that he's going to play, and you'll be able to go to our socials and watch it live, because I remember the first time that I watched you play this, I went, freaking Willy. So that's what it's called. It is with the Central Standard vodka, passion fruit liqueur, and passion fruit juice, and then a little mango juice, but it didn't come from 420.
Okay, that's good.
So we're having the freaking Willy. Willy Porter, of course, is going to be, he's our artist.
Our artist of the day is Willy Porter, who joins us now. Willy, good to see you again.
Great
man.
to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Welcome into the lounge,
It's my pleasure.
as it were. New product out. We'd have you in anytime if you didn't have a CD to
Well,
promote.
thank you. Yeah, The Ravine, new album came out September. So excited to have this record out. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been fun playing it live.
It has been a blast. I've got a really great band right now, and I couldn't be happier with it. We're playing on the 16th of this month. We'll be in Cedarburg at the Cultural Center doing our annual benefit for Advocates of Ozaki, which is a wonderful organization up there that helps folks that are transitioning away from domestic violence. This will be our 21st annual. So great to get to work with those peeps, and the band is in fine form.
God, they're so
Fantastic.
I'm lucky.
I mean, they're just
I'm
as
very
close to perfection with Dave Adler on keyboards and Shepke and Madunik. Man, Carmen's voice.
Carmen.
Songbird of her generation.
Oh, look out. She
Such a
sure is,
sweetheart.
man. She's
Pump the
great.
brakes on that, KB. She's going to want a bigger slice of the.
Yeah, see how it is?
Bigger. You're gonna be, when you're the band leader, you got to be.
That sounds like a management kind of idea right there, Drew.
You did a run of shows all over in the fall, right? And after the release,
We
right?
sure did. Yep.
Yeah.
We played around and did a bunch of stuff there. And then I went east, and I've been, we went out west, played Arizona, and did some other stuff too. And so, yeah, just staying real busy, which is a gift right now. Take it.
Is travel different, or is shows different? Are we back to pre-COVID? Is it noticeable? Are we pretty much back to normal?
It really feels like we're back. I think the one thing that I've noticed is that, people recognize that there were a lot of options they could do that just involved staying home. Of course, you probably talked about this a bit, but, there's a lot to compete with somebody throwing down money for a ticket, going to a room to hear a show. And so you're up against all the streaming stuff and everything else. So you're competing for, entertainment time and people to come out. So it's not quite what it was pre-COVID, but it's still great. It's back mostly.
But better way to spend a night than watching music. I'm not sure I can think of that, KB. I mean, as much as we like sports and going to games,
I love going to
seeing live
shows.
music and going to shows is where it's
I
at.
do too. I like going to them as much as playing in them. So
Yeah.
you know,
It's just to see. And then, even with COVID, a lot of creativity came out in the way, and people are still doing live shows online.
sure.
And still going out and playing. It's just not the same. I mean, it was any port in a storm during COVID, but the ambiance and everything with being out in a club and, the waitresses dropping whole trays of drink during that
It's exciting.
tender moment of a love song.
These are the things that really make you feel alive.
No.
I mean,
And then staring out and seeing everybody holding their phone up in front of their face, right?
yeah, that's really a joyful thing.
Oh my
really is.
God, is that? I was talking to someone who worked for Styx, and he was telling a story. Remember when you were growing up and you went to concerts, right? And you went down and you got in front, and then the drummer would throw a drumstick out or something. Everyone would die for it. A guitar player would throw a guitar pick out. And it was like, they said, now you do that. And if you're an old schooler, that's what you do. You got all your picks, you fire them out. Now you do that, and no one even knows because they're all looking through their phone.
Right, they're
And it's
missing
like,
half
we're
the
just
show.
wasting accessories. We're throwing them out there. You throw a drumstick out. No one, hey, what did you just hit me with?
Then you're gonna get sued because you hit somebody in the right
because they
between the
weren't
eyes.
looking right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Willie's been with us before. The record CD. What do you call them? I call them albums still.
I
but-
call them albums still. I mean, it's still 58 minutes of music. It's it's not a single.
And the music business is now catering towards singles and release like that. It's like that's how it's consumed. I like this song, but to be able to sit and listen to 12 songs and
it's a ride. You know, I've always looked at it like a great album is really, you know, the thoughts are all connected, and there's a central sort of thematic vibe to it. And you know, my favorite albums all roll that way, and they all feel that way. So this one is an attempt to sort of follow that mold, and just was a blast to make. I just can't, you know. So the joy is still in making the art. You know, trying to sell it, yeah, you know. But making the art is where it's at for me.
It's like we always say, right? You get paid to sit up and tear down. You play for free.
Oh, amen to that. That's why all the jazz players are playing for $50.
That's right.
Best musicians in the world. Yeah. They love it too much to get paid.
Right.
So Willy's had this record, The Ravine, since September. How many is this for you? How many?
I think that's
releases?
my 12th full length type thing. 11th, 12th. I should know. But I don't really think about that as much.
I was going to say details.
A couple live records in there too. So,
and then when you go play, a lot of people will say, I'm playing this, playing the new record front to back, or you're mixing it in with the stuff that people know. And
yeah, we're mixing it in. It's been really fun to do that and see how this material sort of sits in the catalog of tunes that we're playing. And again, I'm playing with, and we reimagine these tunes, even though they've been recorded this way. We'll do something that's broken down, 4 people around a mic singing a song, as opposed to having the drums and bass and the whole thing active for the whole show. So it's fun to sort of take tunes that you know well, and then you know the structures of them, but then break down the architecture and put different siding on the house, if you will. Try different things.
Did they, like, tempos change?
Tempos remain kind of consistent, I think. Yeah, that's the one thing I'm kind of a bully about. But as far as, we might change the key, we might try some different stuff. But I'm with such great players that everyone's an accountability partner. So particularly Carmen, if I sing a different melody line or I change something, she's on me like, you altered that. And then I had to change what I was doing. And she's great about it. She'll change in a nanosecond. But I love that when people really are sticking to things that make a song have an identity. You don't want to lose that. And sometimes singer-songwriters get bored and we start to invent things and alter things, not to the benefit of the song. So
when you're playing songs from a new album, to use the phrase, do they like grow and breathe? And then are there times when you're performing something live and like, oh, I wish I'd have done that in the studio? Or is it just that's the evolution? When do you put down, like when you record something, you finally done mastering it, it's finally done. You're finally, no more edits, no more, it's into the world. And then you start playing live and you say, oh, I should have done that.
I think that's really funny that you should say that, because they're always evolving. I just look at this as a photograph. The kid keeps growing up, so it was like, he was a good looking kid then, and then he got hit in the baseball game and now he doesn't look the same.
So we're going to have to make him look better.
Yeah, that's it. So get some makeup out, or you find a chorus or something that could have been better, and so you sing it a little differently, or you change it a little differently. And I think remaining open to the miracle, it is music in the moment, if you will, is important. Don't get stuck.
Have you ever done something where when you're writing as a songwriter, you're writing at a point in time where your life is, and it's a song that you absolutely love, but then as you move along, let's say 10 or 15 years, your life has changed, and the story of the song might be a little bit different than the moment you were feeling it? Have you ever updated lyrics like when you perform them live because you're just not in the exact same place?
Generally, no.
Okay,
I kind of feel like, yeah. No, it's great. The reason being is that I feel like the song is sort of emblematic of where you were in that time, and your frame of reference might change, but that guy's as valid as the guy that sees it from this distance now. And so I want to hang on to that guy.
You're still honoring the audience.
In a way.
Yeah. In a way. We're chatting with Willy Porter, willyporter.com, the website, Willy Porter Music on the socials, on the Instagram. If you want to go check that out, for sure. Because as soon as you start playing, we're going to get all these texts from people, 414-799-1973. Say, who is this guy? I've never heard of him. Oh my God, I'm adding him. When can I go see him?
Man.
Every time you grace us with your presence, we get those. People are saying who is this guy? I had no
thank
idea
you, Drew,
that the guy lives here among us. And people might not know, Willy is also our correspondent in the auto racing field, because KB and I know nothing about left turns. And Willy's an aficionado. You got a Speedcore hoodie on right now.
I do. I love Speedcore. They're our friends up in Grafton. They just took second place out in Pomona with this amazing new car called the Ghost, 700 horsepower, 1970 Charger, reimagined. go to speedcore.com and check them out. They're just doing
Speedcore
phenomenal
with a K,
work.
by the way, if you don't get lost.
Let's rock, kids.
So,
But yeah, Willie, we've talked to you before
Yep.
about this. You are literally our friend who's the most dialed into racing and that scene of the cars and stuff.
I love it. Yeah, I really do. Penske won Daytona this year, the 24 Hours of Daytona. They won it this year, which I was so happy for Roger
with
Penske.
one of those big yellow rental trucks.
Yeah,
That's how good they are.
That's how good they are.
That's how good they
So,
are.
yeah.
If you have musical questions for Willie or racing
Auto
questions, because we don't know,
Now-
Willie was in the Formula One before us and
Oh.
24 Hours of Le Mans and all
All
that
kinds
stuff.
of good stuff happening. This is a great time of year, and yeah, there's all kinds of good news in Formula One too. Andretti's close to inking a deal, so we would have an all-American team. Andretti Cadillac in 26, that might happen. There's some really great stuff coming.
Now, I want to when I talked to Willie, I said I have a request this song because this is the most. If you're not watching on Twitter or Facebook, go there because this guitar that you have is you've affectionately nicknamed it. It's like part regular guitar, part 12 string, and it's just amazing. And I've seen you play this song. And I want people to hear it because it is just jaw-dropping what you do with the instrument.
Oh, well, thank you,
I mean,
KB.
really, it's just like,
And
dear
since we're on
God.
in Eau Claire, let's talk about the history of this instrument.
Yeah, please. This was built by the great luthier guitar builder, Gordy Bischoff, who I've worked with for 30 years now. And Gordy lives in Eau Claire. And I called him and I said I wanted to build a 12-string baritone, so a long scale length, 27-inch scale, which is the length of the neck. And he said, well, that sounds like a really fun project. Let's go. And halfway through the project, I said, you know what? I don't want to deal with octave strings on the bass side, meaning the lower 3 strings, they would have octaves adjoining them. And I said, let's just get rid of those and make it a 9-string guitar.
9 strings.
And
9.
so he said, that's a great idea. And this is the resulting instrument. So technically today I'm playing it as an 8 because I broke the octave D string, but it's got a really warm and amazing tone, blending the bass registers with this higher frequency content.
And when you do this, the song that you're going to play for you Peter Gabriel fans out there, you're playing the bass line and a guitar line and singing.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Boy, put some cymbals between your knees. You got something going. Look out, Mom.
And a stomp box.
No, and a stomp box.
Stomp box cymbals.
Put the stomp box with the hi-hat cymbal that comes out over the top of your head.
That's the one.
No,
Plays a kazoo.
My Fair
this
Lady.
is
that's the one.
this is ridiculous what you do. So
well, I think with this guitar, the one thing that people won't hear today is that when it's plugged in, it really does have, there's a kick drum element to what's happening based on how I'm hitting the top. So there's some part of the musicianship and musicality, I should say, from the guitar itself. It's not really going to broadcast through the mics, but I think they'll get the idea.
So,
all right, let's take a listen.
and this is Digging in the Dirt,
Yes, sir.
Peter Gabriel.
All right. I can move over a little bit.
Yeah, we got to get,
We'll have it mic'd.
yes, we got to make
We
sure.
got
that-
you.
There we go.
All right.
Okay. Now we're ready.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, it's just
Yep.
better by a
Mhm.
second. Yes, yes, yes. All right.
There we go.
Something in me, dark and sticky, all this time is getting strong. The way of dealing with this feeling, I can't hold out like this too long. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you. Don't talk back now. Just drive the car. Don't turn around. I know what you want. Don't say nothing. Keep your hands on the wheel. Shut your mouth. This is real. Digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need support. I'm digging in the dirt to find the places I got hurt, to open up the places I got hurt. The more I look, yeah, the more I find. When I tune on in, I get so blind. I feel it in my head, I feel it in my toes. I feel it in my sex, that's the place and goes. This time you're gone too far. This time you're gone too far. This time you're gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you now. This time you're gone too far. This time you're gone too far. This time you're gone too far. I told you, I told you, told you. Don't talk back now. Just drive the car. Don't turn around. I know what you want. Don't say nothing. Keep your hands on the wheel. Shut your mouth. This is real. Digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need support. I'm digging in the dirt to find the places I got hurt, to open up the places I got hurt. Ooh. I'm digging in the dirt to find the places we got hurt. Digging in the dirt to find the places we got hurt. Digging in the dirt, I'm digging in the dirt to find the places I got hurt. Ooh, ooh.
Oh my!
It's jaw dropping.
It's a
Just
symphony
draw
coming out of that guitar.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen.
That is-
Thank you.
You know, I
Wow.
mean, trying to cover Peter Gabriel is enough. Trying to cover Tony Levin while you're covering Peter Gabriel is just, it's amazing. I do. That's why I said freaking Willy.
That's why we're freaking Willie's.
Well, thank you,
Freaking
In
Willy.
the Central Standard Distillery Timeout Sports Lounge, Willie Porter hanging out with us today. And how much time we got?
And
Hunter?
we
We'll take
got about 4. Yeah.
okay. Take about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll take a break. But again, if you have any racing questions for Willie, he's our expert. You are our go-to guy. You know more about it than anybody around here.
Well, I don't know if I know much, but I can make some stuff up. I know enough to be able to lie well.
So I'm going to say, what's the fastest you've gone in a car yourself? You guys, your family, you have a
Probably
history.
about 135
Yeah?
myself. Yeah. In my own race car. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Which was
That's
fast.
nothing to sneeze
was
at.
fast enough for me.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, that's
Um,
pulling some G's. That is.
Well, I don't know about that. It wasn't pulling many G's, but it was at Road America, and I have a little 2-liter Sports 2000, a vintage Sports 2000 that was my father's car, and it's a 1978 Tyga. And so it's an open cockpit, meaning a 2-seat right-hand drive, 4-cylinder, 2-liter engine. And it's great. You don't have a lot of mechanical grip, but the cars are fun, and they're momentum-based cars. So the cornering speeds are high. But
what do you get per
don't have
gallon?
much torque. Probably, yeah. I don't know, something like around maybe 10 miles to the gallon or something. Yeah, nothing great, But it's still, they're just a blast. The cars are just a riot.
What would that do on the oval, like at the Milwaukee Mile?
I don't know if that would do very well. I think it might bottom out on one side. It's not really sprung properly for that kind of a track. But it's a road racing car, so designed to go on a track like Road America, which is that beautiful 4-mile circuit that we have up in Elkhart Lake. And but on an oval, I don't know that the oil would get to the top of the motor properly. We'd have to change the sump system.
It would be a different car.
Yes, it would.
It'd be like modding the guitar that you have there.
Yes.
By the way, is that the Willy signature model? It's one of a kind.
This one is not. This is made by the great Jason Costel, who's in Queen Creek, Arizona, and it's an embarrassment of riches. I'm so lucky to have these guitars. And Jason's, an ex-Ranger Special Forces guy who now has dedicated his life to building the best guitars in the world, and he's doing it.
Excellent.
AZ. Okay. Because the Beast, I mean, look at it.
The Beast. Well, I shouldn't say anything. There's nothing, you can't say enough good about Ethel, AKA the Beast.
Ethel.
Love to
is,
sail.
Yeah.
That's oh my goodness. See,
that's one of those things. If I picked that up, I wouldn't even know what to do with it.
I'd get you going in 10 minutes.
Okay. Well,
all right. So I was going to say, Willie, are you into boating at all? Because like you got guitars and cars. Two hobbies that can be pretty expensive. You collect boats, you can pretty much close it out. Pretty much.
Unless it's a bass boat, I don't have any business being there at all, really. My father did a single hand trip in a 35-foot boat. He sailed around the world by himself on a sailboat, and my father-in-law. And I just my hat's off
There's
to him.
so many things I could say.
Yeah. I mean, and then my wife married me.
KB, you already
get along with how do you get along with your mother-in-law?
You already coined the father-in-law
decided-
toilet, KB. The father-in-law toilet is a part of your.
There you go. The father-in-law toilet.
We're going to take a quick break. Willie Porter is hanging out with us in the Central Standard Distillery Timeout Sports Lounge.
Come back and give us something off the new album.
Yes, we want to hear it. We've heard baseball on the radio before. That's a favorite. Yeah, we've heard that one before. You played that one.
Give us a different one off the new one. Your favorite one.
When we come back, a new song.
I'd love to do it.
From Willie Porter. Keep it right here. You're listening to Drew and KB.
Lewis Hamilton moving to Ferrari?
I think it's such a great move. I think it's a great question too. I just think it's good for the sport, and who doesn't want to finish their career in the red car? You
That is
know,
the thing.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think every Formula One driver is like starts out their career dreaming of being in the red car, and King Lou has made it. So I think it's a wonderful thing.
So I do have a question about the CD. When you come up with names, like this is called the Ravine, and you have what looks like a broken Schwinn Typhoon laying there. And
It's a Bantam, sir.
It's the Bantam.
It is.
It's not the collegiate or the varsity.
The varsity.
The varsity. So you've got a Schwinn, and it's kind of it's on the ground. I mean, did you ride into a ravine one time? Where does the name come from? How does that?
Well,
it's interesting where album names come from.
Well, there was an area that was right near our house that was this green space. And it turns out that in the 1920s, it had been a golf course that was then abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this cloverleaf bowl. And so we would go back there, and that's where we learned how to be people. We rode our bikes back there off of every earthen jump you could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And we beat each other up, and we learned how to talk and communicate. And our parents would say things like, dinner's at 5, and if you want to eat, you should be here, but we'd appreciate it if you were gone until then, and that was it. And so the ravine became this place, and I had that bike. And so I wrote a whole song about the sensibility of flying off of things and never thinking about the landing. And so that became the title track of the record, because it's 9 minutes, or I'd play it live on the air, but it's 9 minutes. So, but that's the idea. And all the songs sort of funnel into that wonder of how we're getting through life. What are we doing? How are we managing our time? How are we managing our relationships? And what is of value to us as we look back? And that's really what the Ravine's all about.
Oh, that's cool. Very
so
cool.
Every album, every CD, everything you put out, there is a theme, but sometimes you don't go into writing it as a theme. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't write it on, this isn't going to be my rock opera, my opus. You just kind of put songs together, and then do you see the thread of how they fit together?
That's really insightful. That's how it works for me. As I realize that all of these things are sort of spokes on a wheel, and I'm going to the hub of this. What is this thing that I'm working on? And for me, it's midlife. It's being a parent. Kids do, realizing the things that your kids are doing are very much the things that you faced and had to walk through. And how does that change your sensibility? And also, what does empathy look like now? After you've been, walking around in this odd suit of flesh for this amount of time, how has your empathy changed? And how has your compassion changed? How has your sensibility towards mental illness changed? All these things were all radiating back to this existence. Like, what are you doing with your time here? And that to me became this filter point. And I didn't realize it, but the songs all funnel back to that for me. So,
and now when it's done, you say, oh yeah, okay, now they all fit together. And then when you start playing them live and spacing them in, you're putting across a message.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know that anyone...
A conversation with your audience, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah. Or a conversation with yourself,
And the audience is just a bystander.
Yeah. I think in a way, it's funny because the songs are, they're tangentially related to everybody else. But to me, there's a through line, So...
See, if I were to do that, I mean, I'd have songs like "The Dishwasher Ain't Gonna Load Itself."
Right?
Hey, my favorite title in KB, you should be, I discovered this one,
what?
The YouTube
What are you
rat hole.
thinking?
Dan Baird and Todd Snyder and somebody else wrote a song, the best title ever. You Look Like I Could Use a Drink. I figure that's KB. That should be a KB t-shirt. That should be your summer tour, KB. Mm-hmm. You Look Like I Could Use a Drink.
So Willie, give us something off of this album.
Sure. Here's one. It's a little seasonal Scotty thing. Another way to spend your time. I got a pickup truck and a fishing hut. It's a 20-mile ride to the secret spot. Gone is summer, but the fish are under this ice I'm sitting on. 3 feet of ice out on the lake, now a tackle box on my knee. Got 9-volt socks, a dozen tip-ups, stove that's burning kerosene. I can't hear nobody calling. I can't hear nobody calling. I can't hear nobody calling. Just the wind through the cracks of my fishing shack. Now Howie and Doug got the shack next to mine. I can outfish them, it's a matter of time. If I'm lucky, a muskie, a walleye, or trout, gonna throw in my line. Mama weighed them all out. Got shiners and minnows and the waxworm twist. No God-fearing fish could ever resist. Got a sawdust floor, a hand-rolled cigarette, and my blackberry brandy, it ain't froze yet. I can't hear nobody calling. I can't hear nobody calling. I can't hear nobody calling. Just the wind through the cracks of my fishing shack. And when this shack of mine blocks out the light, the sun trapped below makes the water glow in the hole. I felt a snap and a yank, it almost broke my line. Swear it's the truth, though it sounds like a lie. I sprained my wrist and broke my pole on a lunker too big to pull through the hole. I can't hear nobody calling. I can't hear nobody calling. I can't hear nobody calling. Just the wind through the cracks. It's got the wind through the cracks of my fishing shack. I got a pickup truck and a fishing hut. It's a 20-mile ride to the secret spot.
Outstanding.
Willy Porter. Usually we tell people on our show, go follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, get our followers up. Now we're not going to ask you that today. We want you to go download Willy's music everywhere that you can get music.
Spotify.
Especially if you have to pay for it, it's even better.
Oh, yes.
Or go see him.
Go to Bandcamp.
Go see him live.
Thank you, Drew.
You know, let's got a gig coming up in Stoughton. We're in the 608. We're statewide.
We're everywhere.
Tell people
Let's rock.
When are you playing in Stoughton?
I'll be there on the 14th, I believe it is, of this month. Let's just trust but verify.
Trust me. That would be Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's Valentine's Day. It's the 15th. I'll be at the Stoughton Opera House with the full band, including the mighty Dave Adler on keys. I mean, you got to have vitamin D.
Well,
everybody needs it.
And Dave Adler, you should, if you want to see some good music, Dave does Steely Dan.
Oh, he's amazing.
And he also just started a Supertramp show.
Yes.
Which is amazing. It's like, when have you ever heard anyone doing, we're going to go and do a Supertramp show.
He is a treasure. He's just a treasure. So, yeah, the 15th will be at Stoughton Opera House. The 16th will be up in Cedarburg for the Advocates of Ozaki show at the Cedarburg Cultural Center. 17th, Thrasher Opera House in Green Lake, where they do a bit of ice fishing.
A bit. That song will go over great. Fishing Shack will go over.
I don't even want to ice fish anymore, but now I do.
It's funny. I've never done it. I just wrote a song about it. I've always...
Well, you know, if you ever watch Springsteen's Broadway thing,
I did see,
right?
Yeah.
He says the guy who wrote Racing in the Street and Born to Run couldn't drive.
Never-
That's how good I am.
I love that.
But listen to this. I mean, we've got Chad and Merrill says, freaking Willy. Then we say, and he's a Motorhead. Outstanding. It's like everybody is goosebumps. That was awesome.
Yes.
So, man, that's why we love
Thank you,
having you, because you're just
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
amazing.
What a
when I see
pleasure.
Willie, I'm like, I'm inspired to go play guitar, and then I'll go play, and I'll put it down and say, "No, it's
That's
Saturday."
right. You don't know whether you
Oh,
should
you
practice or quit.
Yes,
Ah.
exactly. Because it's just, it's amazing to see.
So
this go.
good.
Thank you, fellas.
And
Thank you.
he's a pretty good singer songwriter too. I mean,
Hey,
the
thank you,
guitar
my
thing is
brother.
one thing, but then you're also got he's the whole package.
Mhm.
A 3-tool player,
And,
Thank you.
writes, sings, and plays. It's
and a gracious
fantastic.
man.
No question.
One of the kindest
Let's
men
not
I've
go
ever
too far
met.
here.
Yeah,
Okay.
really. His family's just going, "No, he's not that great. That dishwasher ain't gonna load
Just call
itself."
me. Just give the wife a call. Check in
It's
with
a
her.
double album.
And
There's
you,
like-
you played it on our show before, but Baseball on the Radio is a
Yes.
song for
Thank you.
local baseball fans, and especially now as we're pitchers and catchers reporting next week. We're getting closer to hearing
Look,
baseball on the
I think
radio.
it's coming up, and you just celebrated a birthday, and
Yeah, 90.
yeah,
And one of the funniest lines I think
what a treasure.
I've ever heard you say was when you were talking about baseball on the radio and time spent with your dad, and he hauled you out to Sears one time,
It's so true.
and you said, "Why are we here?" And he just said, "Because your mother's not."
Yeah, he
We've all, we
he
have
knew when
all
he needed to get
lived
out of the
it.
cave. He got out of the
Got
cave.
We've all lived that. Because your mother's not.
That's so true.
Yeah,
Willy Porter, WillyPorter.com. That's WILLY. And by the way, I was thinking of you yesterday because I knew you were coming in. And yesterday was Willie Mays Day in San Francisco and in California because it was 2/4/24.
Oh, neat.
Say Hey Kid, number 24. It's kind of cool that
Yeah.
they celebrated Willie Mays yesterday.
That's
It was cool.
really neat. I love
Yeah.
that.
Favorite Willies. I was saying Steamboat Willie, of course.
And
Willie Porter.
Boxcar Willie.
Boxcar Willie.
Yeah.
And then
Freaking
Freaking Willie is what we're drinking today in the Central Standard
There you
Distillery
go.
Timeout Sports Lunch. All right,
Thanks,
when we come
Willie.
back, we're going to give away some tickets to the rodeo. You got any songs about the rodeo? Sweethearts of the
You know,
rodeo.
Don't have anything about the rodeo. I'll make something up
I
though.
was going to say, you want to play us out with one? Play us out with something. Give us
Sure.
about 30 seconds of whatever you want. Look at how quick you can tune and stuff. It's ridiculous.
by ear.
Yeah. WillyPorter.com, Willy Porter Music on Instagram. Follow him, download him, celebrate his music.
Can you forgive the heart of a stranger for letting you down out of fear? Do you feel safer with your hand on the trigger, even though you